everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Darian, aka LOL Not Darian, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and comment down below what you think about this video. Get off of my mirror! Move, I'm not playing with you. Move. This is going to be the retelling of one of my other story times that I've told on my channel that I have privated as of today, right now. Also, if you see me throwing this thing around, my cat is trying to knock over my mirror because this is how she tells me that she wants to play, and I'm not about to have her knock over my mirror. So I'm just playing with her a little bit so that she can leave my mirror the fuck alone. This story is going to be about my dad's ex-wife, aka my stepmom, and how she tried to get my siblings to jump me, or how she threatened to get my siblings to jump me. So without further ado, let's just get into this story time. My mom and my dad, they had a relationship. My mom basically broke up with him like literally 2 weeks after I was born. I remember my dad asked me once, like, do you ever wish that like me and your mom was still together? And I was like, no. Why would I wish that? Like, I have never known y'all to be together in my life, so I can't miss something that I've never had, you know what I mean? So when I was 3 years old, he met a woman that we'll call her Charlotte. Charlotte was this high yellow ass woman with a horrible attitude. And I remember when my grandma, my dad's mom, met her, she could not stand that woman. She could not stand that woman. She couldn't stand her because she loved my mom so much, because my mom is kind of like me. Like, we're both kind of quiet around the parents, but like respectful, and like we'll have a conversation with you and everything. Whereas like Charlotte, she'll have a conversation with you, but like her version of respect is a lot different from our version of respect. So like she'll cuss in front of you, she'll get like rowdy and raunchy in front of you. Like she was like one of those type of people, right? And she had a horrible fucking temperament. Like she used to get mad over like the smallest shit, right? So when I was 3, my dad met her. She was, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just really trying to get her to not fuck with my mirror right now. But when I was 3, that's when my dad met her and they started dating or whatever. And she was in my life ever since. When I was younger, I used to like her, like, a lot. I thought she was cool as fuck. I thought she was fun. I thought, like, you know, she was nice, she was kind. She had my sister, I guess you would call her my stepsister. I never really considered her my stepsister because she didn't really know, like, she knew her dad, but like not really. Like, she grew up calling my dad daddy, and she would call her dad like daddy blank, like his first name. But like my dad was like just daddy, you know what I mean? And so like I never really considered her my stepsister. That is my sister. Like, still to this day, that is my sister, regardless of what everything else is going on between our parents. That is my sister, right? So she has her, and then literally a year and a half later, she has my other sister by my dad. So she had obviously my stepsister by another man, and then she got with my dad. I'm pretty sure they met before, and then they like lost contact. She went, got with another man, got pregnant, and then they reconnected. She had her baby, and my dad was like really the only man that my sister knew. And then after that, they had another child, right? So once my second sister was born, they decided, or I guess third sister, because I have a sister on my mom's side, but that's neither here nor there. Once the next daughter was born, my dad decided to marry Charlotte. So they get married. It's literally no issue. Once again, like, I like her as a stepmom and everything. She's pretty cool. When I got older, she started to be more and more strange towards me, and more short when it came to her temperament with me. So I remember one time she went to beauty school, right? She went to beauty school to get her certificate in cosmetology or whatever, get her cosmetology certificate or a degree or whatever they call it, right? And I remember she dreamt a lot, which I can relate to. Like, I'm a dreamer. The only difference is I'm gonna make it work in some type of capacity. You know what I mean? Like, I might dream bigger than what I can actually achieve, but I will always achieve some version of that. I'm never gonna let a dream go unfulfilled for myself. Whereas like Charlotte is most likely because she had kids, which is why I don't have kids. A lot of her dreams went unfulfilled because she was constantly having to, I don't know if she just like had a lot of self-doubt and insecurity, but she never allowed herself to actualize the dreams that she always wanted for herself. One of the things, like I said, was cosmetology school. She went to cosmetology school. She got her certificate, her license in cosmetology. And she was talking about how she wanted to open her own studio, her own salon. So she got her cosmetology degree, and she was talking about opening her own salon sometime soon. And I was like so excited for her, you know, like that's such a big deal, right? And I'm like 8 at the time, but I'm like, whoa, that is so cool, blah, blah, blah. And I remember when she said that when she opened up her salon, I could be a receptionist. And like, you know, as a kid, like shit like that is just cool. Like I remember I wanted to be a fucking Walmart cashier just because I thought it was so cool, the little computers that they had. Like I was so excited when they opened up self-checkout. I would always beg my mom to go to self-checkout so that I could pretend that I was a cashier on it. Like no bullshit. And so when Charlotte was talking about opening up her salon, I was like, oh my God, I get to be receptionist. Oh my God. Like I got to be somebody important, you know, like I get to be the face that they see when they come in. And like, I was just so fucking excited. Right. And I was like, oh my God, really? I get to be the receptionist? She was like, yeah, like I'm going to open up a salon and you get to be the receptionist. You get to be the first pretty face that they see when they come in. And I was like, you know, it's just so excited. Right. I remember one day, my dad is a tech head. He has so many gadgets in the house, or he used to. I don't know, like, I don't think he does anymore because of the divorce, but like before the divorce, he had so many gadgets. And what comes with gadgets? Fucking remotes, right? So I remember he had this one remote that kind of like literally was shaped like a cell phone, or like not a cell phone, a telephone, like one of those like handheld ones, the receivers. Literally like that, right? So I had that on the side of me. I remember I was in the living room. I remember this so vividly. I was in the living room, sitting on the couch. Hi, baby. I remember I was sitting on the couch and I had the remote that looked like a phone right next to me. And I had another remote that my dad had that was for like a speaker or some shit. I don't know. I literally have no clue what all these fucking remotes were for. But he had another remote that had a bunch of like buttons on it and shit, right? So I'm sitting on the couch and I'm over here like pretending to type on the remote with a bunch of buttons. And I have the remote with the phone. I mean, the remote that looked like the phone right next to me. And I was just typing on the little remote with the buttons, and I would pick up the remote that looked like a phone, and I was like, hello, welcome to Charlotte's salon. How can I help you? And like, you know, just make believe. I'm fucking 8 years old. You know, I'm just playing with the remotes. I'm just like so excited to be a fucking receptionist at this bitch salon. Like, I'm just so geeked, right? She comes downstairs, and I remember she looked at me, and she like squinted at me. And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, like I'm just practicing for when I become a receptionist at your salon. Like, duh. Do you not hear me answering the phone for your fucking salon, bitch? Like, hello. And I'm like, oh, I'm just practicing for when I become a receptionist. And she was like, why are you doing that? Because I don't know, like, why can't I do it? Like, I'm so confused, right? Because what's the issue? And she literally looks at me and she goes, stop fucking doing that.
Okay.
And I was like, excuse the fuck out of me. What did I do? What did I do? Why do I have to stop doing that? What the fuck? So I was like, oh, okay, my bad, you got it. So that was like the first instance that I can remember vividly where she was just like so strange towards me. Like it was, and like obviously as an adult, I understand like she probably started crunching the numbers and realized that it was just not going to be in her cards to be able to open up a salon. But like that's not how you reply. That's not how you respond to a kid that's just, you know, playing make believe. Like, I'm just playing. You could have like either Honestly, you didn't even have to do anything. You could have just been like, oh, okay, you know, that's cute. It's not my fault that you can't do that shit. That has nothing to do with me. And like, I think part of it was because she was, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Fast forward, I remember when I got into my teenage years, of course I was getting a little boy crazy. I feel like most teenage girls are. Like, if you're not, okay, that's great for you. Like, I'm so happy that you weren't boy crazy. But like, there are a lot of teenage girls that do get boy crazy. Don't try to make me feel like a dummy for being boy crazy in my fucking teenage years. That's usually what fucking happens, right? Anyway, I started being a little bit boy crazy or whatever. And it wasn't like over the top. Like, I wasn't over here. Like I said in my last story time, I wasn't like having sex. I wasn't doing anything like that. So it wasn't like I was doing something. Like, Charlotte was a teen mom. It's not like I'm doing what Charlotte was doing. My mom was a teen mom. Both of my grandmothers were teen moms. It's not like I'm doing what they were doing, right? I still have no kids till this day. Thank Jehovah. Okay, I still have no children till this day because of this little thing. Okay, this little thing. And when I was younger, the pill, clock it. Because I make sure, since I don't want any kids, I make sure that I will never have any right now. So it's not like I was doing anything fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I might have been boy crazy, but I wasn't like bouncing on dick, you know what I mean? But for some reason, that just really started to trigger Charlotte, and she started getting a lot more rude and strange towards me. And I don't know if it was because of me being boy crazy or if it was because me being a teenager and she felt like I was taking my dad's attention or what. Like, she was just very strange when it came to me. We'll come back to me being like boy crazy and all that, right? But first, I remember that she did not like my mom. She could not stand my mom, which is crazy because my mom never did shit to her. My mom has never done shit to her in her entire life. Like, never. My mom was the one that broke up with him. Hello. She broke up with him 3 years before he even met the woman. And then 4 years, 5 years before he even proposed to the woman. So it was like, my mom was like nowhere near worried about my dad at that point. She was like trying to figure out how she was going to move us to Houston. Like, she was not worried about Charlotte, right? Charlotte or my dad. But my dad notoriously still likes my mom till this day. He has always flirted with my mom no matter what situation he's in, no matter what he's doing. That's why I will never date a man with kids, because my daddy has ruined it for me. My daddy was married for fucking like 13 years and was still asking me, how your mama doing? How your mama been? She's still fine, in front of his wife. And it's like, I get her pain, but baby, that's not my mama's fault. Check your husband. So I remember one time we were in the living room. My dad and Charlotte had just bought a house. It was like right after my grandma had died. Rest in peace. Love her so much. Miss her so much. It was literally like she didn't even get to see the house that they bought. After the funeral and everything, we were like all in the house, and my dad had asked, like, this was like a few weeks later, he was like, so you ain't told me, like, how's your mama? How's she been? And I was like, she's good. Like, I don't know. She's okay. And he was like, he had asked something about her dating life, and I like responded very vaguely because I knew it was none of his business. And Charlotte was in the kitchen with my dad when he was asking me these questions. And when I answered it as vaguely as I could, she went, that's why your mama can't keep a man. And I remember looking at her like, what? And she's like, I'm just saying, like, you know, look at me and my husband and blah, blah, blah. Ma'am, you are talking about the husband that my mama didn't want. I'm so sorry. I love my daddy so much. You're talking about the husband my mama didn't want. Congrats. I don't know. Like I said, love my dad down, but like, not she beefing my mama over a nigga. Like, that's crazy, over a nigga she didn't even want. That was like really strange, right? And I remember I told my dad later on, I was talking to my dad later on after they like divorced or whatever, and he was like, yeah, no, I actually pulled her into the room after that and was like, watch your mouth when you talk about her, especially in front of my daughter. Like, don't talk about her mama in front of her. What the fuck is wrong with you? Number one, I don't want to hear you talking about her because she never did shit to you. But number two, don't talk about her in front of our daughter. That's absolutely unacceptable. That is not okay. And I, hey, big ups to him, because I never heard her talk about my mom after that. But my thing is, and maybe I'm alone in this, I feel like parents need to call other parents out in front of the children. And it's not on a thing of like to undermine the parent, but it's just a thing of like the kids need to witness that parents can be held accountable too. I understand that you want to have like a united front and shit because y'all are family, but like your children are your family too. You need to have a united front when it comes to somebody that's outside saying shit about your spouse or something like that. And like you may know your spouse is dead ass wrong, but you want to have their back in that situation. But like in front of the kids, your kids are your family too, and your kids need to be able to trust you. And so when your spouse says something that's dead ass wrong, call them out in front of the child. You don't have to like cuss them out or nothing like that, but be like, hey, that wasn't okay. Like you need to apologize type shit, because you need to teach your children that nobody is above accountability. Nobody, whether they're the parent, whether they're an elder, whether they're this, that, they're that, they need to understand that everybody needs to be held accountable, and they can't learn that if you constantly have their back in front of the kids and then go into the back room, go into the bedroom and tell them like, hey, that wasn't okay. I stand firm in that. Like even when and if I get married and have kids, I'm gonna be that type of mom. Like if my husband or my wife says something that like I don't necessarily agree with and I think is kind of fucked up in front of the kids or to the kids, I'm gonna be like, hey, that wasn't okay. Like you need to apologize to them, because the children need to know that you have their back as well. How was I supposed to know that you told her to not say shit about my mom if you pulled her into the bedroom and said, hey, don't say shit about her? Because she didn't come and apologize to me about what she said about my mama. And I didn't find out until I was like 24 years old. And I didn't find out until I was 24 years old that you even said something to her. You know what I mean? So that's just how I feel about parenting. That's like my little tidbit. But anyway, I really feel like he should have said something in front of me, like when she said that in the moment, like, hey, don't be talking about her mama like that. That's not okay. Like I said, she had her cosmetology's license, so she had like a whole bag full of nail supplies, right? It had files, fingernail polish, clippers, things like that in the bucket, right? And I remember at the beginning of the summer, she told me, hey, I have this whole bucket of all this nail shit. Whenever you want to do your nails, you don't have to ask me. This is your home too. Like, obviously, because at this point, I'm like 14, 15 years old. Obviously, that's my home too, right? So when she was like, you can always come in here, get whatever you need from the nail bucket. You don't even have to ask. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just come and get it. This is your home too. I just wanted to let you know so that if like, you need to cut your nails, you need to file your nails or something, you know where to find it. And I was like, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So one day I got the bright idea that I was going to square my nails. I was going to file my nails and square my nails. So I went downstairs to their bedroom one day and I got a file. I got like a nail filer, right? And I was just like doing it throughout the day whenever I had some time, just filing my nails. I remember my family had came over for something. I think it was literally just like one big ass barbecue, and it was like not just like my uncles, but like also like my great aunt who lives in Jersey. She came and visited with my cousin, her daughter, and like we were all in the living room chilling while like my dad was like grilling or whatever and like coming in and out of the house, right? And it was a nice time. And I remember walking downstairs, filing my nails and everything, because I was kind of like isolated from the family, not because like I didn't care to be with them, but because there was nobody in my age group. So I was just kind of like in the game room, and I was sitting in the game room just filing my nails, and I was like, okay, well, let me go like be social or whatever, because the great aunt that was there, the aunt that I was talking about, is my grandmother's baby sister. And so she kind of like filled in that role for us whenever my grandma died, of like my grandma, because not like in that way, but like her energy and her vibe and her personality is literally just like a carbon copy of my grandma's. And so it literally just felt like she was still with us, So I was like, let me go downstairs and like hang out with them and everything. So I went downstairs, and when I went downstairs, I was in the middle of filing my nails. And I remember Charlotte was in the dining room, and she looked at me filing my nails, and she was like, "There's my nail file. You fucking stole that from me." And I was like, "Stole it from you?" And before I could even say anything, my dad looked at her and he was like, "Are you calling my daughter a fucking thief?" And like I think the only reason why he did that was because our whole family was there, or else he would like pulled her aside and said something. But because it was in front of the whole family, he was like, "No, we can't do that." And she was like, "No, I'm not saying that." And he was like, "Well, you just said she stole that shit from you." And he looked at me and he was like, "Did you take that?" And I was like, "I mean, she literally told me that I could take anything out of the nail bucket if I wanted to. I didn't know that, like, because she said that she had been looking for it for like the past week. Mind you, I'd only had it for 2 days. So if he was looking for it for the past week, baby, I don't know where you had it, those other 5 days. But I've only had it for the past 2 days, so I don't know where it was for you when you was looking for it." I was like, "No, like she told me that I could go into the nail bucket whenever I wanted to, and I went in there because I wanted to file my nails. I didn't know that it was a big deal." And I was like, if she needed it, she could have just came and asked me if I've seen it or something, and I would have told her that I had, and I could have given it back to her. But she didn't even let me know that she was looking for it. And so she was like, I didn't mean that like you stole it or whatever. Like I was just asking. And my dad was like, "Nah, you literally just said that she stole it. You need to apologize to her." And she apologized to me, and I was like, "It's okay." Like, and I gave her back the nail file. It was just, it was really strange. And I remember like texting my mom, because even though like me and my mom weren't really close at this time, because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like her for a while. I still felt like she was the only person, her and my other grandma, like my mom's mom, were the only people that I had on my side, because my dad wasn't standing up to Charlotte in front of me whenever she would wrong me. I remember I would like text my mom and be like, "Bro, like I don't know what I did, but she's being fucking weird. Like she's tripping over like the smallest shit. I don't know like what I did. She's over here talking shit about you. Like she's just strange. She's fucking strange, right?" Charlotte had like a really bad temper. Like it, I know I keep saying that, but it's just like, it was so unnerving because I'd never seen somebody with a bad temper like that before. And it was just like, what is your problem? Like, I remember one time we were literally at her homegirl's house. So fun fact, this homegirl actually knew my mom before she knew Charlotte. So this homegirl and my mom used to work together at like Home Depot, I think. And the homegirl got pregnant, and then a few months later my mom got pregnant. And so they were pregnant at the same time with me and the homegirl's daughter, who I ended up later on becoming friends with. And we used to have play dates. Me and the daughter used to have play dates when we were like 1 and 2 years old. And then fast forward, homegirl and Charlotte started working at a nursing home together. And I remember I went over homegirl's house for the first time with Charlotte, and homegirl looked at me, and she kept looking at me, looking at me, looking at me. And she went, "Darian." And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Is your mom by any chance so-and-so?" And I was like, "That's her first name, yeah." And she was like, "So-and-so, blah, blah, blah," like her last name, her first and last name. And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I thought that was you. You know, you and blah, blah, blah used to spend time together, used to hang out together, you used to go to Chuck E. Cheese together, da, da, da." And like, that's how small like my hometown is, which is why I wouldn't say my hometown here on YouTube, just because it's like, it's so small that like everybody knows everybody there, right? But like, it was just like, wow, like what a coincidence. But anyway, I remember we used to go over there all the time, all the time. Sometimes I would literally go over there without Charlotte, and like I would just get dropped off by my dad or something, or homegirl would come and pick me up from my dad's house, and then me and homegirl's daughter would spend time together. We would hang out. Me and homegirl's daughter and like homegirl's daughter's friends would all go to like the mall together, or like go to like the teen club together. If y'all was a little teeny bopper like me, I know y'all went to the teen clubs. That was a vibe. It was so much fun. I remember running to my big cousin there who always thinks that he's my big brother, and he was like literally guarding me the whole time, would not let any boy talk to me. And I'm like, can you go home? Can you go home? You are not my brother. You got 4 siblings. Why do you need to make me your 5th? Can you go home? And like he's like one of those niggas that like everybody's fucking scared of. Cause he was 6'5" in the fucking 9th grade, and like had speaking of bad tempers. And it was just like, can you go home? I'm trying to get some numbers, okay? I'm trying to get a roster. I'm 14 years old. I'm trying to get a roster. Can you go home, please? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, so I remember we were at homegirl's house, and it was just like a random summer day, and I remember Charlotte was braiding my hair. And she was doing box braids on my hair, and she was braiding my hair. And Charlotte could not control her liquor. And when she couldn't control her liquor, she couldn't control her temper. So she was drinking, and she started getting a little bit drunk. And I remember she started like bickering back and forth with somebody. Me and homegirl daughter just sitting down on the floor talking, because like obviously you know what it's like when you get your hair braided. You sit on a pillow in between somebody's legs, and so homegirl's daughter sitting on a pillow too, just talking to me back and forth, right? And we keep hearing like Charlotte's voice get louder and louder, and I feel her yanking on my head a little bit. I'm like, ooh, what's going on? Ooh, what's going on? Ooh, what's going on? And like I look up, I'm like, Charlotte, you okay? And before she can even answer, I see somebody start pushing the woman who she's bickering with out of the house. And at this point, it's become a full-blown argument. I'm like, what the fuck? And they start pushing the lady out the house. Come to find out, that's homegirl's sister. Charlotte is arguing with homegirl's sister in homegirl's house. She's arguing with the sister, and she stands up, literally with my braid still in her hands so she could hold her place on my braid. And I'm like this. I'm like, well, she's like, bitch, run the fuck up, run the fuck up. I'm like, no, please don't run the fuck up. Please don't run the fuck up. I'm right here. I can't get kicked in the face. Please don't run the fuck up. Oh my God. And I'm like, Charlotte, let my hair go, please. Just, if you want to go fight her, please just go fight her, but let my hair go first. She's like, you all right? You all right? You'll be okay. Run the fuck up, bitch. I'm like, no, please, no. Long story short, we had to take our black asses home, because why are you trying to fight your homegirl sister in your homegirl house? That's crazy. So fast forward, right? When I was dealing with Squidward's stupid ass, I was going back to go to my dad's house that summer. This was when I decided that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with Charlotte. I remember we had went shopping at Marshall's or Ross or something, right? And I had found a shirt that was like a fitted white shirt, and all they had was a size like large or extra large or something, right? This was like like I said, back during Tumblr days, DIY was like a huge thing. Like I had a lot of shit that I would DIY, because I was just like, I had shirts that I would like cut little like strips into, like to make fringe and things like that. And I remember I wanted to like kind of DIY this into a crop top. This shirt was a long ass shirt. Obviously it's a fucking extra large or whatever, could fit the shirt. Like it was fitted enough. It had enough, what is it called? Like spandex or whatever the fuck to actually be fitted on me. But it was just too long of a shirt. That's what made it the large or extra large or whatever the fuck it was, right? So the shirt went down to my knees. It was a long ass shirt. I need y'all to understand this. It was a long ass shirt. I bought it and I cut it and I made it into a crop top. And when I cut it into the crop top, it went literally right to here. It went right up under my boobs, because I cut it a little bit too short, because I didn't account for how the spandex would like bounce back. So it ended up being right up under here, which means that all the rest of it from here to my knees was what I had left over. For some reason, like I guess my dad just let her run the household or whatever. And so she wouldn't let me wash clothes until the rest of the family washed clothes. Even though I was 16 years old, at my mom's house, I would wash my clothes like separately from everybody else's because it was just like, I don't feel like getting my laundry lost in all of y'all's. Like, I just want my clothes, right? So I would wash all of my clothes separately and shit. But when I went to my dad's house, I was not able to wash my clothes until everybody else was washing their clothes. And anytime I would try to, Charlotte would pop up and be like, what are you doing? And I would say, oh, I'm washing my clothes. And she would tell me, no, just wait. Like, we're about to do laundry, like, at the end of the week. Like, just wait. That sounds fine and dandy, right? Right? Except for the fact that I didn't live there. So I was living out of a suitcase for 3 months. Because I didn't live there and I was living out of a suitcase, I didn't have, obviously, as much clothes as everybody else who has a closet full of clothes and multiple dressers full of clothes. So I would run out of clothes, obviously, faster than everybody else in the house. So I needed to be able to do my clothes more frequently than everybody else, but she would not let me wash my clothes until everybody else was washing theirs, which meant that I was running out of clothes faster than everybody else. So one day I had gotten tired of wearing the same pajamas for multiple days in a row. Sorry. I had gotten tired of wearing the same pajamas for multiple days in a row, and I just wanted something new. I put on like this big oversized t-shirt that I had. I'm pretty sure like I packed one of my grandma's t-shirts, my mom's t-shirts, and I put on the bottom part of the shirt that I had cut as a skirt. Like I said, it started right here, went down to my knees. I remember Charlotte was sitting in the dining room. I remember this so vividly. She was sitting in the dining room at the head of the dining table in front of my grandma's china cabinet, my dad's mom's china cabinet that we inherited. And she was on her phone on Facebook just doing whatever the fuck she was doing. And I was like, hey, Charlotte, when's dinner gonna be started, da da da. She told me the answer and then she squinted her eyes. She always did this. She squinted her eyes and she looked at me. And I was like, what? What's going on? And she said, what are you wearing? And I told her like, oh, it's the bottom part of that shirt that I cut that I had bought at Marshall's. Remember, it was like $10 or whatever. And, when we bought it, I cut it, da da da. And, this is the bottom part of it. And she looked at me and she said, come here. And I like walked closer to her because I thought she just wanted to see it, right? Like I thought she wanted to like see how I did it or whatever, because she was also really into DIY shit. So I walked closer to her to show her, and I was like, yeah, look, like, it's a little unfinished at the top. Like I'll probably have to like fold that down and like sew it and like da da da. And she was like, and she grabbed me by my shirt and twisted the collar up and pulled me to her face, and she said, take it the fuck off! And she threw me on the floor. And I was like, what the fuck? And I remember I got up and I ran upstairs crying because I was like, my own mother wouldn't even do that to me. Why would you do that to me? My own mother would never even scream in my face like that. My own mother wouldn't even grab me up by my collar like that. What is wrong with you? And I remember I called my mom and I was crying and I was like, I'm never coming back here again. I'm not. I can't do it. I cannot come back here again. She doesn't know how to treat me. She doesn't know how to speak to me. She's strange. She's weird. She's mean. She's odd. I don't want to come back here. I don't want to come back here. My mom was like, okay, you don't have to go back there if you don't want to. This was the last interaction I ever had with her until adulthood. We were going back to school shopping, right? All of my siblings went to the same private school that I went to when I used to live in our hometown in Indiana. Obviously, most private schools mean that you have to wear a uniform. And I remember my mom told my dad, like, hey, y'all go to school a lot earlier than they go to school down here. I know y'all be getting deals, obviously deals and like sales and shit, because people are trying to clear off all of their like back to school clothing racks, especially because most of the schools in our hometown have uniforms. So a lot of the schools don't have just like free dress code. So all of those clothes were like basically just going to waste because everybody was buying the fucking uniforms, right? And so my mom was like, stop sending her down here with no clothes and then making me have to go and do back to school shopping with 2 weeks to spare, especially when the prices are at its highest, when you have everybody going back to school 2 weeks before she even leaves and the clothes are at its cheapest at that moment. Go buy her some fucking clothes. I'll buy her some shoes if you want me to, but stop sending her up here without clothes. I remember we went back to school shopping. We were at Sears, right? I remember like my dad had gotten an earful from my mom, right? So he started like looking at clothes for me, because obviously for my siblings, you just pick up 4 pairs of khakis and like a khaki skirt, and then you know, some fucking polos and call it a day. That's literally all you fucking need. It's uniforms. That's all you need. For me, obviously, it's a little bit more intricate because I have free dress code. Obviously, mine would take a little bit more care. My dad was looking at a rack of clothes for me while Charlotte was just literally picking up the uniforms to see what size they were to grab them and put them over her arm. She was like, so-and-so, like my dad's name. She was like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, like, because my dad had picked up a shirt and he was like, you like this shirt? And I was like, kind of, like, it's a little childish for me, da da da. And she was like, what are y'all doing? And my dad was like, oh, we're doing back to school shopping for Darian. Like, you know, school starts in 2 weeks for her. Like, her mom said that I need to start getting her some clothes. And, like, I understand, like, da da da. So, you know, we're looking at clothes right now. And she went, no, we're shopping for the kids right now. We can worry about her later. And I remember that hurt me so bad, because it was just like, I know that I'm 16, but I'm still one of the kids. Like, regardless of what you want to say, I'm still one of your children. And so it's like, and once again, pissed me off and hurt me that my dad didn't speak up for me. You know what I mean? It just really hurt me. And I remember I came home and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back there. I'm not. And my mom didn't even like get upset. She didn't like say anything. She was like, I understand. I get it. I wouldn't want to go back there either. Later on that year, literally when I was going through all of that shit with Squidward, my dad texted me and said that he was divorcing Charlotte. Literally random day. I remember I was sitting there talking to that little Hispanic boy that I told y'all about that's gonna get a story time later. And I remember I was like, oh, give me a second. My dad texted me. And I looked at the phone and it said, yeah, we're getting a divorce. And I was like, what happened? And basically, without getting too deep into it, she put her hands on my dad. And my dad was like, yeah, we can't do this shit anymore. And so he like told her like, yeah, we're getting a divorce. I'm not about to put up with that shit. Like, cause she had never done it up until then, but he was like, I'm like, no, you're going a little bit too far. And so they started the divorce proceedings and all of that happened, right? My dad is going through like all the divorce proceedings with her, and she's like she's trying her hardest to turn my siblings against my dad, right? And like my dad's not making it hard for them, I'm not gonna lie, because he, even though he tries to say that he has like, and this is not to bash my dad at all by any means for no reason, but like I have to keep it a buck. Like, even though he says that he has like a fighter mentality in him, and I think he does to some extent, he's very much so like, well, fuck you too then type of mentality. And you can't have that when it comes to your children, you know what I mean? Like, you have to always lead with love and with grace and with compassion and kindness and care when it comes to your children, even when your children aren't the warmest on you at certain points. But whenever their mom would say something, whenever Charlotte would say something to them about my dad and would make them kind of like feel iffy or like off about my dad and like stop talking to him or something, he wouldn't bother to clear it up, or he wouldn't bother to like still enforce like the custody agreement and like go get them and things like that. Like, he'd just be like, okay, they don't want to see me, then they don't have to see me. And I would tell him like, no, you need to go pick them up. You're literally just proving her point when she says that you don't want to see them just because y'all divorced. Like, you have to go get them. You have to go get them. You have to keep trying. You have to go see them, because otherwise they're just going to literally look at their mom and be like, you were right. He doesn't want to be around us. He doesn't like us. He doesn't blah, 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 right? My dad is also one of those guys, like one of those dads where like, tough love is his thing, right? My sister, the one that he had with Charlotte, we'll call her Truly. So Truly, I love Truly. That's my little baby. You know what I mean? Like I wish we spoke more than we did, but like her mom, like I said, even though I was holding my dad accountable, her mom is very much like always in the girls' ears, like trying to tell them shit about me, about my dad, about like the world in general and shit. And so they are literally like just on her hip at all times, and it makes it hard to like really speak to them because they just kind of want nothing to do with me and my dad. But Truly and I were trying to have a relationship at some point, and I remember I started texting her and everything, right? Truly's older sister, my stepsister, like I said, I consider her my sister. She doesn't need a name, but she graduated, and Truly was ready to hurry up and graduate too and follow suit. And Truly is like a late baby. Like, let's say, you know, like those people that like were in your grade, but their birthday didn't come until like July, like, you know, after the school year was over type shit. That's Truly. Her birthday is in like super, super late July, to the point where like they were deciding if they wanted to make her wait another year to enroll. And so because of that, she was a little bit more immature than her classmates. And so and she's always been like that. She's still like that till this day, right? And I remember when Truly was talking about hurrying up and graduating so that she could follow our sister. My dad was like, well, you need to relax for a little bit. Like, don't be in a rush because you're still pretty immature and you need to grow up a little bit. I don't want you going off into school, going off to college with the maturity level that you have right now, and then you end up getting taken advantage of by some stupid little boys or some, you know, evil ass bitches at that school. I need you, like, I genuinely think that you should take a year off to just kind of mature a little bit before you start school, because right now you're very immature. You need to grow up a little bit more before you try to get away from your parents and everything. And like, it may sound mean, but like, that's just my dad. Like, he has tough love type shit. Like, he just gives tough love, you know? And so he didn't mean any harm by it. He wasn't trying to be mean to her. He wasn't trying to be rude to her. He was just trying to be straight up honest with her. My sister took that as like him being mean, because she's a very sensitive child. And like, I've always recognized that. Like, I remember one time I scared her so badly that she started crying. I was like, bro, stop before your mama come up here and cuss me out. Like, stop. You know how your mama be. You know how your mama be. She might push me down the stairs. Not really. She might push me down the stairs and cuss me out and call me a bald-headed, dark-skinned bitch. Like, please stop. But like, but like, she's a very sensitive little girl. Whereas like me, I can be sensitive, but like, I think it's because I've grown up with my dad just being the way he is, that like, I don't let it get to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, shut up, stop talking to me. Like, but I'm also that type of child who was like very, I don't know. I think like at a certain age, my parents just realized like, oh, we can't control her. Like, I was never gonna be one of those kids that like ended up in prison or like jail or like, you know, doing just some like outlandish shit, which is why it was so easy for me to be like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm doing what I need to do. You know, I'm getting all A's. I'm literally about to graduate top 15, staying out of trouble. If I want to go and hang out with my friends, what the fuck is wrong with that? Leave me alone. Truly is very sensitive, and so like, she takes everything to heart. And so when my dad said that, she took it as him bullying her. And so she texted me and she asked me like, were you ever mistreated or were you ever bullied by somebody in the house? I was like, yeah, I was, I'm not gonna lie. And she told me that that she had also been kind of mistreated. And she said, you know, our dad was bullying her and calling her immature. And, you know, obviously I like spoke to my dad and he was like, no, like, I literally just said like, she needs to grow up a little bit before she goes off to college around people who, you know, are very malicious. But like, when she told me that, like, you know, our dad was like bullying me, calling me immature, I was like, I don't want you to get the wrong idea, because she was very much so the type of person to go back and be like, well, Darian said that you did X, Y, and Z to her and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't want her to get the wrong idea and go and like tell my dad that like, I said something about him, and like that I was co-signing how she felt about him because I also went through it, because I didn't want him to like call me and be like, bro, what the fuck? So when she said that, I was like, oh, no. There was an adult in the house, because I didn't want to say her mom. Like, we, in my household and in my family, we have a very strong thing where we don't talk about the people, like the kids' parents, in front of the kids. Like, my mom, she never talked, like the most she would say about my dad was that he was an asshole, but like that was it. Like, she never like told me about like any type of issues that she had with him regarding me, like, you know, child support, or like, you know, custody agreements, like nothing like that. That was our business. I mean, that was their business, right? So when it came to me and Charlotte, I felt like that wasn't Truly's business, because I didn't want to ruin Truly's image of her mom for her, because that's her mom. You know what I mean? She might get a different version of her mom than I got for obvious reasons. So I was like, no, there was somebody else in the house who was mistreating me, but it wasn't our dad, and I don't want you to get that wrong impression. But if you want to continue talking about our dad, then I will listen. I will be here for you. I will support you. But I just want to make it clear that it was not him. And after that, I didn't get any type of message back. And so I was like, okay, like, cool, whatever. Like, you know, maybe she just felt like I was gonna take his side or something, which I never take that man's side. I be on the phone telling him how he's dead ass wrong 9 times out of 10, 11 times out of 10, and he be hanging up in my face. Because I don't play that shit. I will call you the fuck out. I have been calling him out since I was fucking 14 years old. Like, and I don't care who it's in front of. I don't care who's listening, who's watching. I will call that man the fuck out. I will. Just like how I call my mama the fuck out. Just like how I call my grandmama the fuck out. Everybody's getting called out. I will do it. I don't care about that fake facade of respect. I feel like respect is being able to hold you accountable and you being able to take it. That's me respecting you. I respect you enough to call you out on your bullshit. If I don't respect you, if I don't call you out on your bullshit, it's because I don't respect you. It's because I don't think that you're better than that. And I think you're exactly the shit that you do. But when I call you out on something that you do, and I'm trying to hold you accountable for it, it's because I know that you're better than that. And so that's why I call out my loved ones, like, hey, that wasn't okay. Like, you need to do better than that. You got to do better than that, right? This was when me and SB were together at this point. Yeah, this is so crazy how SB has been in so many phases of my life, which makes sense. We were together for 3.5 years. Of course, he has been in many phases. He actually met Eeyore, which I will tell that story time at another time. But yes, he actually met Eeyore. He and Eeyore, we had a smoke session, and that was interesting. But that's not the story of today. So I remember me and SB were getting ready to go on a business trip that I had to go on for when I was an auditor. And this was around Christmas, actually. Let me rewind. When I told my sister that it wasn't my dad in the household that was mistreating me, and I never heard back from her, my dad actually called me and was like, what did you say to her? And I told him, like, you know, everything I saw that I said to y'all. And he was like, okay. And basically what happened was that Truly still came and cussed him out about everything that he made her feel bad about, and like, you know, calling her immature and shit. And she said that she even threw me in there and said, and then you're gaslighting, because her mom is fucking dumb, and so she didn't understand the difference between gaslighting and manipulating. So she told Truly that my dad was gaslighting me to hate her, to hate Charlotte. And so when Truly was cussing my dad out, she said that he was gaslighting me, aka manipulating me, into not liking Charlotte. And so I sent her a text and I said, hey, beautiful. So I spoke with Daddy today and he told me that you and blank, our other sister, think he manipulated me into not liking Charlotte. I just want to clear that up and let you know that that was not the case. When I was 17 when he and Charlotte divorced, beyond the age of being able to be manipulated like that. I already had my own opinions about your mom long before they divorced, hence why I stopped visiting, because that was another thing. So when she asked me if I was being mistreated, she first asked me why I stopped visiting. Like, she was like, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. She said, why did you stop visiting? And I told her that I was being mistreated. So that's how it went. I told her I was being mistreated in the household, and she was like, I'm being mistreated too. Like, dad's bullying me. He's calling me immature, da da da. So that's how that happened. Sorry. It's been a while, so I can't really remember much. I said, and daddy actually thought I liked her up until they split, because I would just keep it to myself and cry about it to my mom and grandma when I got home from Indiana, or when I would call them. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call or text and ask me. Don't go to daddy or your mom about it, because they don't know how I felt and what I was going through at that point in my life. The only one who will be able to tell you about my experience accurately is me. I love you so very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. Merry Christmas. Me and SB go to Corpus Christi for my business trip for the inventory count that I had to do. While we're on the way there, I get a text from Truly's phone, and it says, "Bitch, you need help. You were never a sister to us. The only sister I have is our other sister. You just a stranger to us. Brother, my little brother, doesn't even know you. Keep my mom's name out your mouth. The next time we see you, we're beating your ass, you fast-ass little girl. Every time you're here, you're always on your phone talking to a grown-ass man at 13. You don't love yourself. You want to be white. Ooh, fuck you, your daddy, and your manly ass mama, bitch. Have a good life. I know I will."
What happened to hello? How are you? My name is. What happened to that?
And I remember when I first read that, I thought that it was Truly texting me that, because I was just in such like go mode that I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I just saw that it came from Truly, and so I just, sorry y'all, I'm a little oily. I just saw that it came from Truly, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? What did I do? So I remember calling my dad, and I was like, bro. And I told my dad about it, and I sent him the pictures, and he was like, that's Charlotte. And he was like, reread it. Do you know Truly to speak like that? And I was like, no. And then he was like, one thing about it was that Charlotte used to always say that I was fast. Hello, run back when I was talking about how I used to be boy crazy. She swore that I was fast. Meanwhile, she was the teen mom and I wasn't. Oh, but anyway, calling me fast and everything, talking about how I was talking to grown-ass men at 13. Wasn't, by the way. The grown-ass men she thinks I was talking to were boys at like 14 or 15 and had like mustaches and beards. Like, people have that in high school. My homeboy had a full-blown mustache beard combo at fucking 14 years old. Like, it was also a thing of like, Truly wouldn't know who I was talking to at, but yeah, so Truly wouldn't even know like who I was texting at 13. She was literally like fucking 6 years old. Like, why would she know anything about what I was doing at fucking 13 years old? You know what I mean? So that's how I knew. And then also, Truly never met my mom a day in her life, but you know who did meet my mom and had beef with my mom? Charlotte. And my dad was like, yeah, no, it's fucking Charlotte. She texted you that. Like, it wasn't Truly. You know Truly wouldn't say some shit like that to you. Like, Truly loves you, Truly respects you. She would never do that to you. And I was like, you're right. When I read that, the rage I felt was incomparable. Because it was just like, how fucking dare you? How dare you take my sister's phone while we are finally building a good relationship? I'm convinced that's why me and Truly don't have a relationship till this day, because her mom, after this, her mom took her phone up and turned her phone off. And my dad, like, she gave Truly a new phone number, and my dad was like so scared, because like after that she wouldn't let my dad see the kids for a while, and I would keep telling him like, go to the fucking court. What are you doing? You're letting this bitch scare you out of letting your children have a relationship with each other. So he wouldn't give me Truly's phone number for the longest. Like, for 6 months I didn't have Truly's phone number. And then when he gave it to me, he was like, just don't talk about her mama. I never talked about her fucking mom. She came and spoke to you about it, and I had to clear shit up because you over here on my phone fucking whining about what I told her, da da da. Like, it pissed me off so bad. And then it was like, how dare you confiscate Truly's phone and pretend to be her, trying to hurt my fucking feelings. Trying to hurt my feelings. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up, and you think that I can't touch you. You think that I can't get in contact with you, and I'm gonna show you just how good I am at finding people, because bitch, you got me fucked up. So I remember I was telling SB, because like SB was with me the entire time while I was going through this, and he was like, nah, bro, that bitch got you fucked up. We gonna show that bitch right the fuck now. And so me and him literally both get on our phones. He was like, nah, we gonna find that fucking bitch. Like, he was so pissed for me. So we both got online and started like trying to look up like her name. He's like, what's her middle name? I told him her middle name, her full government name. I told him like the old phone number that they had. We're just looking it up, right? We find her email. Because she doesn't have social media, because she's a messy ass bitch, and she was always getting into fucking arguments and fights on Facebook. So she deleted her Facebook because she thought that Facebook was the messy shit that was going on in her life. No, bitch, you're just messy. You were messy before you were even on Facebook doing shit. Remember when you was about to fight a bitch in her sister's house while you was braiding my hair? No, bitch, you've always been the problem. But anyway, so I couldn't find her on Facebook to be able to message her on Facebook. So I found her email. Good old back in the day tea. I gave her a good old email read, and I'm gonna read it to you right now, and I'm gonna put it on the motherfucking screen because this bitch had me fucked up. Good evening, Charlotte. I found your email from Google, and I wanted to email you to say that your message this morning was nasty work, just like your soul. I know good and well that truly did not send that text message, and you should be ashamed of yourself for being so childish that you would stoop as low as you did to text me from my little sister's phone pretending to be her in order to hurt me. Additionally, it is so extremely fucked up that you tried to drive a wedge between two sisters. Your mother would be ashamed and disgusted with your behavior. You are 36. You 36.
You 36!
You are 36 years old. I know you're stuck in the 15-year-old bully mentality that you had 20 years ago, but it's time to grow out of it. You have some nerve calling me fast. Who here was the teen mom? Which one of us lied about our age to date older men? Sounds like you have a serious problem with projection. Furthermore, we all know that you have always been jealous of my mom because you thought my dad still wanted her. What about my mom is manly, bitch? Oh, you can't even tell me. Cry louder next time when you think about my mom and the fact that the only man worth a damn that wanted you would have left you for her in a heartbeat. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that to her. Hopefully you'll be able to dispel some of that hatred you still harbor for her 7 years after the fact. Yeah. Finally, I do not want to be white, and I don't hate myself. It's so funny and so telling that everything you had to say about me is information from when I was 13 years old. You don't know a single applicable thing about me anymore because, as people should do, I grew, I matured, I changed. Sadly, I can say that you are the meanest, nastiest, most vindictively selfish woman I have ever met based on the memories I have of you, and that description is still accurate till this day. That's sad, huh? Next time you want to send a horrible message because you think you don't have to deal with the reply, make sure I can't find your email on the internet. Go to therapy and heal, bitch. Or better yet, go fuck yourself. And stop trying to use my siblings in your petty bullshit. Best, your ex-stepdaughter. P.S. Don't even bother emailing me back because you will be blocked. And she was. And that was that. I never told my dad that I emailed her. Never told my dad I emailed her, never spoke to her again. I've texted my siblings since then. Me and Truly, we text here and there, but not as often as I would like, unfortunately. And like I said, I blame her mother and her mother's shenanigans just driving a wedge between us. Anyway, that is that story. I hope you guys liked this. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. Thank you so very much for all the love y'all, for all the love and support that y'all showed on my last video. I literally cannot believe how well y'all fucked with that video, and I am so happy and I am so grateful. Thank y'all so very much. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. But anyway, I have to go because Jaylee's on her way. We're about to go out to the club. We're about to go out to the club and shake some ass and avoid men the entire night. And yeah, I'm about to have some fun. Anyway, I will talk to y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
Dash out on the radio. Dash out to see the rodeo.